Aquadine is a kinetic visual novel, that is, without choices and ramifications in the story, originally released for PC on the digital platform itch.io on October 28, 2019 by the production company SoftColors, also responsible for publishing the title. Visual novel is the Western term we use to refer to games that the Japanese call adventure game. As much as there is no way to control the character and move around the scene in real time, the player is able to visit different environments, through background transitions, and interact with different characters, usually represented by 2D sprites, and that's why the Japanese rightly place these games within the adventure genre. Something I would like to point out beforehand is that the SoftColors studio, despite not revealing where it is based anywhere, is unlikely to be a Japanese production company. This is made clear by the absence of languages, in text and dubbing form, other than English. Despite this, they were able to capture the essence of games within the visual novel genre, and this shows through at various moments in the game. The game is illustrated by 4 different Western artists, but it is noted that the visual style is heavily inspired by anime-style works. This essence also appears in several other ways throughout the game, such as humor, dialogue between characters, among others, which will please many. Anyway, on to the analysis. Unfortunately, it is difficult to comment on Aquadine's reception. No Wikipedia page has been created for the game, and the individual title pages for each platform on which it is available on Metacritic have very little ratings from both the media and gamers. Its Steam page is where most of the reviews are concentrated, which are mostly positive. Based on this, we can establish that the game went unnoticed by most, but was enjoyed by people who played it to the end. Aquadine tells the story of a boy, Robin Leung, who works as a part-time gondolier under his second secret identity, Seal, to finance the stay and treatment of his mother, a former gondolier, who is hospitalized due to an unknown illness. As he finishes giving tours one night, a mysterious voice leads him to discover a wonderful mermaid. In a quick reaction, she dives to the bottom of the ocean, and this piques his interest in finding out if ancient Aquadine, an underwater city founded especially for mermaids and mermen, is real. He continues to live his double life, while making new friends and learning more about the supposedly extinct civilization. The player assumes the role of Robin, or Seal, and follows a common route, which introduces each character and romantic candidate and, once this introduction is made, the game opens the door for us to decide which route to take, among the 4 characters. As I said before, the game is kinetic, linear, but it allows you to choose which path to follow, according to the character's preference. Interestingly, the 4 routes are canonical and non-canonical at the same time. Once the player finishes all 4, another common lane, which runs to the end, reveals that events and incidents from all 4 lanes are extracted at the same time, which shapes the true ending. What the 4 have in common is the way the protagonist seeks to cure his mother of her illness, with the help of his romantic potential. Of course, in the second common route, the protagonist has only one girlfriend at the end, but much of what happened in each route is used and actually happened, within the game's universe. The game is relatively short, 5 to 8 hours, depending on the reading speed, but that's not a bad feature. The ending completely goes against expectations, which doesn't negatively impact the experience, but I found it too rushed. In terms of graphics, the game is completely up to par for the visual novel genre. The character sprites are quite varied, extremely well illustrated, and the same can be said about the scenarios. In addition to the transition of sprites and scenarios, the game does not have animation in any way, but this is a characteristic of many games made within the genre, which allows you to deliver a unique and quality experience even on a low budget. By the way, I found the technique of shaking character sprites very funny in order to express anger, anxiety, etc. The sound part is where the game leaves a lot to be desired. Despite not having full dubbing, which is common, the short sentences that the characters utter in certain moments of the dialogue are scarce and in some moments of low-quality recording. Some sound effects seem to have been chosen from the first Google search, as they have nothing to do with the action that the game seeks to express, such as Cameron's sequence of blows during various events in the game, in addition to the exaggerated volume. The soundtrack as far as the music goes, on the other hand, is okay, although not particularly memorable. Aquadine, despite not being a Japanese visual novel, in many moments resembles one, given the level of quality and care with the script and production, except for the sound part. Its strong inspiration from coastal folklore added a lot to the final product, and all 4 romantic options are, despite employing 4 types of Japanese deer, which is cliché, well formulated and should appeal to readers of the genre. The ending, however, gives me the impression that the producers wanted to finish the game soon and release it, because in my opinion it was too rushed. In any case, it makes me anxious for the next game to be released by the SoftColors studio, since Aquadine was the first and only game so far. Despite having gone unnoticed by critics and avid gamers of the genre, Aquadine is a linear experience that I recommend without any trace of uncertainty. The game's producer, despite the low popularity of the title on PC, being sold on itch.io, indie gaming platform, and Steam since the beginning of last year, did not stop believing in the potential in the culmination of its work and went beyond, recently releasing Aquadine for all video game consoles today: PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and Switch, together with Ratalaika games. I really hope that the game gets more recognition with the release of these console ports, but they could just as well release an update with certain sound effects. Rating: 8.5. Review written by Razzie and published on the Revolution Arena website. Say what you think in the comments.